This week's verse is Joshua 1:6. Be strong and courageous because you are the one to lead these people. Now, we're here at the Lord's Gym, right on, I guess, A and Allegheny. We're here, and this is a place where people come every day to get strong, right? They lift weights, crazy weight. And it's a process. So they come here every day so they can get stronger. They don't just come here one day and hope to get strong. They come here knowing that they got to train to become stronger. So with that being said, I want to really break down the verse, because just to give you a little context of what the verse is coming from, is we're talking about Joshua. Joshua, at this point of the verse, is God is telling him that he's going to lead basically millions of people, the Israelites, right? He's probably giving him the biggest job in the world at this point, and God is giving him a command to be strong and courageous, because he's been chosen to lead his people. Okay, so the two words that God is telling, the two attributes that God is really wanting Joshua to have, is to be strong and courageous. Now, strong, he doesn't mean, hey, be strong as in lift 225 on the bench. He's saying be strong as don't be unwavering. So it's basically, when you say, hey, something's built strong, basically it won't move. It's not gonna, if the wind blows, it's gonna stay there, right? And that's what God really wanted him to be. He wants to be strong mentally. And then courageous means that when in the midst of adversity, in the midst of him being feared, he's still gonna power through. And those are two great attributes that God wants us to have. Not just Joshua at that time, he wants us to have that. Now a lot of times we need that in the games. When you're down 14 points and you only got 5 minutes left, are you going to be strong? Are you going to be courageous? So are you going to fold? Or are you going to be strong? You're not going to move. You're going to stick with your team. You're not going to take your jersey off. You're going to stay there and say, this is my team. I'm not going anywhere, right? Are you going to be courageous? So if I'm courageous in that game, I'm going to be like, we're losing, but I'm not scared to lose. We're gonna play till the last seconds on that clock. That takes straight courage, right? Now, the opposite of those things, if you weren't strong, the opposite of strong is weak. So if you're weak-minded, you're gonna be on that field. You're gonna take your jersey off once you're losing, right? Which is pretty easy to do, right? To be courageous, the opposite of courageous is to be fearful. Right? So when you're fearful, you're going to be scared to even play on the team. You're scared if you're scared to lose, you walk on that field, guess what? You're going to fold. You're going to fold. Because you start losing, you'll be like, I don't even want to claim that loss. I'm just going to leave. So in order to, you want to be strong and courageous during the game. So that's in a sports application. But if you look at as far as life application, you need courage. You need to be strong, because things all around you are trying to sway you in ways that are not helpful to you. Things that are not pleasing to God. Things that are gonna ruin you. And if you're strong and say, I know who I am. I know who I am with God. That I know what He wants me to do. I'm not gonna do that. You're being strong. You're like a pillar. You're like a strong pillar that keeps a building straight. Courageous means to have the courage to say no when everyone's saying yes. Those are two great things that are needed as you young guys out there, out in the streets, in your neighborhood, your school, your family. You're gonna need that. You're gonna need that daily. Again, Joshua 1:6. Be strong and courageous, because you are the one to lead these people. God has called us to lead our communities. God has called us to lead our families. God has called us to lead our schools. and even lead our teams. And that's something that is more evident now. You can watch the news, and you could see that they need a leader. They need a leader. Are you going to be that leader? Are you going to be that one who, when the going gets rough on that team, you're going to be the one like, hey, you know, we got this. You're going to encourage your guys. You're not going to break. You know, are you going to be the one that says, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do this. Like I'm not going to do those drugs. I'm not going to sleep with that girl. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. Making good decisions, because it takes strength and courage to do those things. So that's my challenge to you. Ask yourself that question. Do you have the strength and the courage to be a leader, the leader that God wants us to be? Thanks a lot. See you next week. Timoteo Life.